Today we will look at yoga therapy for a broken lower leg that is about 8 weeks into healing. So the cast is off, the moon boot's off during the practice, but not during walking. So we're really looking today at whole lower body health, the nerve supply, the blood supply to the lower body, hips, legs, feet, toes, and also the lymphatic drainage as well. Secondarily, we'll be looking after the upper body. So we don't just look at one part of the body and treat that in yoga therapy. We look at the whole person, and having less mobility means that the whole upper body, spine, neck, shoulders can all be affected by the change of lifestyle that happens when you have a broken leg. So we do a lot of upper body care, also because that helps the nerves along the spine to function really well, to be well nourished. We look at the fascia and hydrating the fascia, which of course connects the whole body from the head to the toes and wraps all around the organs as well. Particularly for this yoga therapy client today, we are looking at the organ body because this client normally has quite an intense and rigorous physical practice that involves a lot of squeezing of the abdomen, squeezing through the spleen, the liver, the kidneys. And so normally all of the cleansing that would happen also through the sweating of the physical practice that they would normally be doing 3 or 4 times a week. The yoga therapy can help keep that level of tone through the deep organ body as well. So really seeing this practice as a whole body practice, whole person practice, and definitely not just about the lower leg. So let's begin. We will start on our backs. We often do that because that's a way to take the pressure off. It gives us a lot of freedom to work very safely. Very nourishing for the spine. Again, it's taking some of the compression out of the spine, so there's space between the discs. And also to simply calm. You can rest the hands on the belly. And the significant thing here is simply to notice how you feel. You may feel quite intent on getting into the practice. You might feel there's an importance in doing something strong and active. But this is the time to really deeply surrender to the stillness. To quieten the body and mind. Close the eyes. Relax the face. And to feel into the body. So feel the breath coming in and flowing out. And to help this feeling of surrender to really shift gears away from everyday activity into something a little more profound and healing, we're going to use the sighing breath. So you'll breathe in through the nose and sigh out the mouth. Breathe in through the nose. Sigh out the mouth. Breathing in nourishment, life force. The life force we need to heal. And breathing out any expectations, any pressure. And really breathe it far away from you. So this yoga therapy really is healing. And we can open to something more profound than our daily life. 2 more sighing breaths in your own time. And then taking a lovely long in-breath through the nose, eyes can be open. And exhale. You're going to bend the right knee in towards you, interlace the fingers around the right shin. Have your awareness still on the feeling of the breath in the body, the way the body expands with the inhale, the way that the inner spaces of the body shrinks a little on the exhale. And then change sides. Draw the left knee in. Now, if there is a sense of not wanting to put any pressure on this broken leg, you place the fingers behind the back of that broken leg side and draw in from the back of the thigh underneath the knee. Place the foot back down on the mat, change sides again. Drawing that right knee in. This time we're going to take the left hand out to the left side on the floor. Take the right knee out to the right. Draw it back to center and take it over to the left. So just a little bit of movement to the right, back to center and over to the left. Inhale, open knee to the right. Exhale, squeeze a knee to the left. And it doesn't matter how much movement that you get, just that you can actually start to place your mind into that hip joint and feel what's happening in there. If there's any gripping on the inner groin area or the outer hip buttocks area, if there's any freedom, if the movement's warming up the joint and bringing that beautiful, nourishing synovial fluid into the joint. So a sense that it's being well lubricated and the joint becomes a little healthier. From there, we take the hand behind the knee and stretch the foot up and lower it back down, stretch up and down. And you may not get very much straightness in the leg. That's fine. You might be just coming to here at this point. That's fine. One more stretch up, and then we release the foot down to the mat. Drawing the other knee in. Again, the hand can be behind the knee for the broken leg side. Left knee goes out to the left, and then exhale to the right. Inhale left, exhale right. So just a general feeling of how that hip feels. And can you really tune into the idea that there's no pressure on you to achieve anything? There's no pressure on the body to, to build the body up or stretch the body. That you're really being with the body just as it is. Where there's tightness, there's tightness. Where there's freedom. And you can just really inhabit the body in a very happy, carefree way. From there, we then lift and lower the lower leg, straightening and bending. Feeling is key. Sensing is way more powerful than we give credit for in our culture. Sensing how the back of the leg feels, sensing the movement of the muscle of the thighs. You stretch and lower. You can literally feel how the thigh can contract and stretch, contract and stretch. And placing the foot to the mat. Hands down by the side of the body, a backward tilt of the pelvis. So the lower back flattens to the floor, and there's a sense that you're pulling the pubic bone a little towards the navel. From there we release and do the opposite, pubic bone down as though it's reaching between the thighs, tailbone into the floor and stretching the belly. Lower back arches away from the floor in this position. Exhale for the backward tilt. Inhale for the forward tilt. And think of this as being really lovely for your lower back, back of the pelvis, and all of those spaces at the nerves of the spinal cord coming out of the spinal cord. The nerves that come out of the spinal cord need to travel through the spaces through the sacrum, which is a part of the spine that sits at the back of your pelvis. So we're really rolling over the sacrum at the moment. And and coming back to center. So we'll lift the right leg, we'll point and flex through the foot, and this time you'll be able to feel the movement of the calf muscle stretching and contracting, lengthening, contracting, lengthening, contracting. And that opposite feeling in the shin area, contracting, lengthening. And even maybe the skin of the foot, top of the foot, sole of the foot, and the feeling that there's a stretch. That's really helping the lymphatic system as well. And then rotate the ankle, rotate the other way, flex the foot, draw the whole toes to face to the right, including the whole knee and hip turning to the right. And then the whole leg will rotate into the left. Toes point out, toes point in, knee points out, knee points in. Whole leg rotates out, whole leg rotates in. Once more of that movement. And then from there, we're going to take the whole leg out to the right and then in. Arms can go wider at this point. You want to really balance yourself and take the whole leg across to the left. Breathe out. Inhale as you slowly take the leg out to the right. Exhale as you take the leg out to the left. As the leg comes out to the right, can you really keep grounded through your left side hip? So you're going to keep the back of your left hip on the floor. Once more to the right and once more to the left. Come back to center, bend the knee, foot to the mat. And the other side, point and flex first. See how that feels. Feeling the calf muscle. Make sure it's comfortable. Where you feel any particular area of gripping, stretching, notice. A lot of actions going on here, and there's lots of layers of muscle as well in that lower leg. So it's really good for you to take the time and really feel what's going on. And then rotate the ankle. Rotate the other way. This is so nourishing for the leg, particularly if you get a little bit of swelling when you're wearing the boot during the day. Lie on your back, put the legs up and do these movements. They're just wonderful. From there, we're going to point the toe out, heel in, and then point the toe in, heel out. You can do this in very fancy ways, like making sure the sole of the foot stays like it's flat on the ceiling, so you don't sort of start to lose the evenness of the space between the foot and the ankle. We like to keep that quite even. And once more, out and in. And then turn the toe out, take the leg out, but keep the right hip down on the floor. Exhale, cross the body. Inhale, open wide. Shoulders compress into the floor, arms compress into the floor. Make sure the jaw is relaxed, the mouth and tongue are relaxed, and that you're really allowing any tension that's required to just be in the lower body, through the core of the body. You can draw navel to spine as you exhale, flattening the lower belly. Flatten the lower belly. Last one, open on the in-breath. Exhale, navel to spine as you cross, and then left leg comes back and foot to the mat. Take both hands by the side of the body. Roll the shoulders back so you can really feel to the floor with the back of your shoulders. Exhale, backward tilt, and inhale, forward tilt. Make sure the feet stay on the floor, all 5 toes of each foot. Feel the weight of the heel on the floor as you forward and backward tilt. Really conscious of the feet. Any changes in the pressure, like from the inner edge of the foot to the outer edge of the foot, notice. And look at your knees as you do it, even if you need to lift the head for a moment, just to see if the knees are doing any little movements. And again, you might sort of see they sort of drop in or they come out, depending on whether you're forward or backward tilting. And then we're going to come back to center. We're going to do a little backward tilt, flattening the lower back. Press down through the fronts of the foot, so the balls of the foot, just before the toes. And then inhale, lift up through the hips. Notice how that feels in your left leg, foot, ankle, lower leg, knee. And your right leg, foot, ankle, lower leg, knee. Exhale as you come down, really noticing how calves feel, back of the ankles. Now, as we focus on the feet, lifting up, notice if there's any differences in the weight as you lower down. Are all 5 toes relaxed down, not gripping? Let the toes be long and relaxed, like they just sort of lengthen out from the feet. The weight into the balls of the foot, base of the big toe, base of the little toe, and the center front of the heel. Think of those as your tripod, your 3 points that are going to support all the way up through those knees. And the weight coming down from the knees and spreading into the tripod of big toe base, little toe base, and center front heel. Because of course your heel has a back, it has a left side, a right side, a front, a center. So you can feel that roundness of the heel bone. But still weight in the forefoot, the front foot, where the balls of the foot are. Last lift and lower. And then we spread the arms wide, palms face down, and make sure the hands are below shoulder height. If they're too high, you start to pinch off at the top of the shoulder. So step the feet a little wider, so they're as wide as the edges of your mat. And you're going to let the knees rock in the same way that you would rock a baby. Just a lovely, reassuring, gentle rocking of the knees. The breath will relax now. If you need that sighing breath, please use the sighing breath. And let the rocking of the knees be really pleasant. A very pleasant feeling. And this is a really great time to simply be content. You might like the head to roll a little. It might go same side of the knees. It might even start to go opposite way to the knees. But that's going to be quite natural for you. And how lovely for the head to be able to roll on the firm support of the earth and get a beautiful massage between the scalp and the skull. And your ears will be able to hear the sound of your hair, of the mat, the movement of the rolling of the head. So notice what your ears hear. Now the knees might go a little further and you might want to stay. Palms can face up. Turn your head opposite way to knees. Close the eyes. And the awareness goes into the breath. Really happy, contented feeling as we breathe in. Really luxurious sense of being able to surrender and let go as we breathe out. Breathing in content. And breathing out the luxury of stillness and silence. And breathe in, come back to center with the knees and over to the other side. Your face will turn opposite way, eyes closed. Notice how you feel. Notice how this practice really meets you as a whole person on all the levels of your being, the many layers that make you up, emotional, spiritual, physical. And it's like we're just allowing all of those layers to have happily merge and meet each other. Feel the breath enter the body, drawing life force, healing into the body. And as you're ready, inhale, lift the knees back to center, nose comes back to center, and the arms come down to the side of the body. Roll the shoulders back, bend the elbows, palms face each other. The upper body gets a little bit more work. We're going to press the elbows down into the floor, roll the shoulders back into the floor. The upper arm will be quite active here. Inhale, let the spine float up. This time there's no backward tilt, so you've got that slight arch of the lower back away from the floor. Arms are active. Feet, feel the tripod in the left foot and in the right foot as you lift up, down with the back of the arms into the floor, the shoulders, the elbows. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the belly, lift the pelvis. Let the inner thighs roll down to the floor a little, so you're really sort of gathering those inner thighs in and down to the floor, so that the outer hips, buttocks, thighs feel they kind of roll up a little. Inhale. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Let the arms come to the side comfortably. Place your right ankle over your left knee. Rock a little from side to side just to see how it feels. Don't be rushed and don't go far. Yeah, because remember the sacrum at the back of the pelvis? That's getting a beautiful massage. Remember all those nerves that exit from the lower spine there that are going to innervate your lower leg. So this is a really nice little nuanced movement for the lower back. And then we take left foot off the floor. Right hand might encourage the right knee away a little. And then just see if you can lift that left foot up a little more, sending the right ankle towards left shoulder. So just as much as is comfortable. At any point, you can rock off the stretch, especially if it's a bit too much and you can feel your nervous system reacting. And really tune in now to feel, what does it mean for the nervous system to react? What does it mean when the movement is actually too much? It's called upregulating the nervous system, when there's too much demand on the system. And what does it mean when there's not too much? It's just right. You can breathe comfortably. The heartbeat is comfortable. Listen in. Jaw relaxed and face serene. One more breath. And then release left foot to the mat, a little rock from side to side, just as far as you feel comfortable to. And come back to center, right foot to the mat. Left ankle over the back of the right knee. Check this feels comfortable for you. Now, putting pressure on that outer leg may not be comfortable, particularly if you've got a break through both of the bones. So to kind of protect the fibula a little more, that outer side bone, you might like to leave the knee out. You can pull the thigh slightly in using the right hand and just let the leg hang wherever it feels comfortable to. Preferably not directly heel in front of knee, but a little bit across the body, and see how that feels. If you feel the break was higher up on that fibula, then you might take the knee to the ankle for a tiny bit of pressure. The most important thing is that you've got a straight line through that ankle, heel and shin bone, that you're not twisting through the foot. Yeah, so sole of the foot like it's standing on a flat surface, both sides of the ankle equally long. You might lift the other leg if that's working for you. Breathe. And remember that feeling of just being really safe, really comfortable. And take some lovely, long, deep breaths. And slowly release, right foot to the mat, left foot to the mat. Have your feet hip distance and the outer edges of the feet parallel. So really do take your time to check that the heels, the outer heel is in line with the outer edge of the little toe. Even if you need to lift and have a look, I use the lines of my mat to check that there is a straight line there. Roll the shoulders back, bend the elbows, upper arm muscles into the floor strongly. Inhale, lift the hips. Tuck the shoulders under quite strongly. Lower the hands underneath you, interlace the fingers. Find the weight into the big toe base, both left foot and right foot. Find the weight in the big toe base like you're pushing the floor away more. Not the big toe itself. It's called the MPJ, the metatarsal phalangeal joint. And so that you want quite heavy. And then the base of the little toe. So where the long bone of the metatarsal then meets the bone of the little toe. A kind of larger, rounder point of bone. And the front of the heel down. Find your tripod in both feet. And what that means is, if those points are down and heavy and round, then perhaps there's an upward lift in other parts of the foot, because the tripod has points that go down and the center that goes up. So the upward lift is in the arches of the feet. So start to feel, where are the upward points in the foot that move away from the floor? Maybe like a suction cup. One more breath here. And on the exhale, the arms will come wide, the lower back will lower down. A little movement of knees and neck as the knees go one way, head can turn the other way. And stretch out any way you like. So you might like to interlace the fingers, press the hands overhead, lengthen one leg. Take a breath. Stretch the other leg. You might like to stretch both legs, banana to one side and then to the other. Banana to one side, lengthening. If you're reaching to the right with the arms, it'll be the left leg lengthening away. If the arms reach to the left, it'll be the right leg lengthening away. Come back to center. Bend the knees and gently roll over to the side. Make your way slowly up. And we're going to come onto the belly to practice Bhujangasana. So hands to the floor and find a comfortable way to get, so if the left leg's on top, then that's your broken leg. Let's have the right knee come down first and then gently left knee will touch the floor into a cat position. Now, if that's too much for you to think, wow, that's a lot of weight to put on my knee, I'm not used to that. Feel free instead, as you come around from this sideways position, feel free to come onto the forearm. Use your hand and slide the top leg away. Start to slide the underside leg away. Twist to take the knees to the mat, pelvis to the mat. And come into Baby Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. So the elbows directly under the shoulder, palms face forward, looking down to the hands. Check their space between all the fingers as they're stretched. Middle finger points forward to the front edge of the mat. Thumbs stretched to face each other. That can be quite a stretch, but it's worth it. And the wrists nice and even. So often people have little kinks in the wrist, but a nice line between the arm bone to the hand, outer hand, pretty much a straight line. I can give you a look at that from a different angle. So if you want to have a look at what that means, often when people come onto a Sphinx position, the elbows are out and the hands are out. And so the wrist is getting stretched on this side, but really contracted on that outside. So if they can be even, then it's worth that little adjustment. It's lovely just to free ourselves from old habits and unconscious habits. Okay, so we'll inhale here, roll the shoulders back. So the feeling really is that the top of the shoulders can move back. And I mean the skin, literally the skin at the top of the shoulder. The base of the skull lifts up away from the shoulders so that we're not going like this. Chin draws into the throat a little. One more breath here in Bhujangasana. And a nice little action is just to stretch the toes and create space between the toes as you inhale. And then exhale, relax. Lower the forehead to the mat, rest the hands by your hips and turn the head one way, and you simply rest on the belly. Notice the weight, the pressure of the knees touching the floor, the pressure of the tops of the foot touching the floor. And we'll play with that idea of getting a little more weight in the knees. So we'll lift up through the chest, hands under the shoulders, spread the toes, lengthen the toes back like you want your legs to grow longer. Let the heart come forward and up. The hands want to pull towards the hips, so you're not pushing the floor away. You're actually got elbows bent and pulling the floor, pulling the hands this way. So the chest comes forward through the arms and up. One more breath. Toes a little bit spread, a little bit alive. You can just twinkle those toes a little by wriggling, making them feel bright. And exhale, lower down. Turn your head the opposite way. Hands rest by the hips. Close the eyes and relax. And remain here for about 5 more breaths with the eyes closed, just feeling how the breath as you inhale travels all the way down to your lower back and literally rocks your pelvis. The inhalation lengthening the lower back all the way down to the sacrum, pelvis and hips. And then the exhalation, the hips rock back. Inhale, fullness in the lower back. Exhale, that little dip of the lower back. And don't do anything. Simply sense, feel, and be in a state where you are open to receive. You receive the pose, you don't do the pose. You receive the breath. Like all your pores are open. Your pores in your skin, but also the pores of our being. All our windows are open, all our doors are open to receive the air and sunlight. Feel that natural rocking of the pelvis, lower back, with the breath. And very slowly, beginning to lift the head, take the hands under the shoulders. Take your right forearm just across the mat. Take the hips to twist a little to the left and start to bend those knees so you're coming onto the side body here. So just a moment here to feel that this is comfortable. Our next session, our next video, we'll do a fair bit of work on the side here. So it's nice just to finish acknowledging that this is a comfortable position. You might like to stretch the top leg, see that's comfortable. Lift, forward, back. Straighten both legs and see also if that top leg can just take foot in front and maybe think about lifting here. So it's just a little hello, a little acknowledgement of your next session. Let's go to the other side, coming up and making your way around to the other side. Nice way is to just swivel on the bottom and see how you feel here. Elbow under shoulder, Forearm straight, wrist in line. Good practice. And let the body look forward to what it will be doing on this side. Straight legs. Just the idea that you might even be able to lift the hips. And release. And we're going to do the Viloma breath, where we step the inhalation into 3 parts. Just begin by using the Ujjayi breath, so slight restriction at the back of the throat, feeling the breath come in. And as you exhale as well. Notice how the inhalation fills all the way down into the belly, and the exhalation comes up and out, emptying the belly, emptying the lungs. Inhalation fills all the way down to the belly. And on the exhalation, you can even slightly flatten the belly. Relax the jaw, close the eyes. Going to breathe in 1/3 of the in-breath and then pause. 2/3, pause. Final third, pause. Relax completely as the breath is held into the body. Relax completely. And then exhale all the way out. Breathe in 1/3. Pause. 2/3. Pause. Final third. Pause. Relax everything. Feel the fullness inside you, but as a support that everything can relax around. And exhale all the way. Continue the practice, breathing in with 3 steps, pauses between, and go at your own time. I'll continue with you. The exhalation is one smooth stream of breath out the body. In the next 3 rounds that you do, I'd like you to feel what part of the body is filling. So you might be feeling upper chest, then upper belly, then lower belly. You might feel you're feeling lower belly, and then upper chest. So I just want you to notice if there is a kind of, those compartments are quite clear and in which direction. Or if you don't feel any compartments at all, you actually feel like the breath is filling from a central point out, perhaps in all directions. Notice what is most true for you as you breathe now. One last round of the Viloma breath. Smooth, comfortable exhale, and then return to your natural breath. You can have the eyes closed, the face relaxed, serene. And feeling just the full length of your spine. So that being really your whole torso, the feeling of the spine rising up out of the pelvis, has a front and a back and sides. The spine perhaps cylindrical, like an open channel through which energy flows, all the way up through the crown of the head. Just some sense that there is a channel of energy moving through the core of you, from earth to sky, from sky to earth. And you're ready, hands come into prayer position in front of the heart, and we can bow the head in acknowledgement of the yoga therapy, the many generations of teachers who have shared these practices, have studied themselves, their bodies, their emotions, their mind and spirit, and given to others so that we can suffer less and have more joy. When you're ready, looking up, release the hands and take some of this yoga into your day and into your life. I look forward to sharing more yoga with you.